Have you ever felt bored, unenthusiastic, or even frustrated while changing the slides manually using the keyboard or mouse during your phenomenal presentation? Well, I felt the same during my presentations. Hi friends, welcome to my channel Guru's Theory. I was thinking for a long time that how cool it will be if we change the slides with simple hand gestures during our presentation. Wouldn't it be cool like if you just swipe your hand right or left, the slide changes accordingly. In this video, we will discuss about a project by changing the slides using our hand gestures, including that we'll use our voice commands to change the slides during our presentations. So this makes our presentation so cool. Let's get started. So in this, we are going to change the slides of presentation using three modes. First is manual mode, which is conventional method using keyboard and mouse. Second is voice mode, changing the slides using voice command, and third is gesture mode, changing the slides using gestures. So we are going to switch between these three modes using voice command. So basically the idea is if you are going to say manual mode, the program will change it to manual mode and you need to use keyboard and mouse to change the slides. If you are going to say voice mode, then the program will change the mode to voice commands, and if you just say next, the slide will go to next. And if you switch to gesture mode, just say gesture, then it will change to gesture mode, and you can just swipe your hand left or right to change the PPT slides. So that's the idea. So to achieve this, we need some kind of tools. Those tools are first VS Code, which is a code editor. So if you have Copilot GitHub sign-in, that's well and good. Or you can use Gemini or ChatGPT. So we are not going to manually code each and every line. We are just going to get the code from these AI tools using prompts, and we can manipulate the code according to our wish. And the second tool is Python. I am going to use the version 3.11. You can use 3.9 or you can use 3.11. And third is Mediapipe, which is an ML library in Python. Fourth is OpenCV. Again, an image processing library in Python. So these are the tools required that we are to achieve this. First, open your VS Code and just create a Python file, which is I created as gesture sample.py, and make sure that you have signed in using your GitHub credentials to the Copilot, and here you can write your prompt. I wrote my prompt like write a program that detects a gesture and press the key based on the gesture detected. The program should use OpenCV and MediaPy for gesture detection and PyAutoGUI for key presses. PyAutoGUI is nothing but it's an inbuilt library in Python where it helps to press the keys actually. So that's the functionality. So here you can give the prompt and here you can send it. Otherwise you can write the prompt here by just using asterisk symbol in Q4. So you can write the prompt here. The difference between writing the prompt here and writing the prompt here is that, so if you write prompt here and if you just press the tab, here it suggests the code line by line. So if you want to just pass your time, or if you want to check the code line by line, you can just enter the tab and tab, enter tab, enter tab, enter tab again and again. So that's the difference. And if you write the prompt here and if you just send it, it will generate the whole code here. You can just copy and paste it.
A few moments later.
See, the whole code has been generated. I'm just and I'm just clicking the keep button, so where it keeps the code. Say here you can see the code has been fully generated using Mediapipe and OpenCV as we prompted. And here if you see the logic, it counts the finger number of finger raised actually. So if you see, if you just raise one finger, it detects as gesture A, and if you just raise two fingers, it detects as gesture B, something like that. But we are aiming to change the slides using our hand swipes. So this is our modified code. I modified the code according to our objective. And here if you see, I imported all the necessary libraries which is required for this project. And please ensure that you have installed all the necessary libraries with help of pip command. And the second part is that I have used Mediapipe for detecting our hand gestures, like detecting our hand and hand fingers. And after that, OpenCV for processing the image. We need to process our hand image, so we need to use OpenCV. So I have initialized that also. After that, I have used global variables for voice commands and gesture controls. So for voice command, I have used two variables, which is mode and voice command. So voice command, it is a variable where it listens to our command, and it is helpful for changing the slides using our voice command, and it's also helpful for changing the mode between switching the mode between manual, voice and gesture. So after that, here if you see, I have used four kinds of variable for our gesture control. Basically, my thought was that if we just show our fist by just closing our fingers, all the five fingers, then it should exit our slideshow. So this can be achieved by two variables, which is exit threshold and exit frame count. Exit frame count is a variable where it counts the number of consecutive frames with our fist closed, and exit threshold is the number of consecutive frames, how many number of frames that is required to exit the slideshow with our fist closed. So these are the two variables to just end the slideshow. And zone threshold I'll explain in the whiteboard. Let me explain you the concept of zone threshold. The variable that I have used in our code, let's say this is our screen. Let us consider this rectangular box as our screen. I am dividing the screen into three parts. One is center, other is right, and other one is left. So I am dividing this with a ratio of 0 to 30% in left and 30 to 70%, total of 40% in center, and 70 to 100%, again total of 30% in right. So by default our hand is in center zone, so this is our by default zone. So if we move our hand from center to right, then it will press the next slide. If we move our hand from center to left, it will press the key for previous slide. So this is the whole concept of zone threshold. Once all the initializations are complete, we are entering into the loop where our gesture mode logic and voice mode logics are written. So if we say or if we give our voice command as gesture, it changes into the gesture mode and it calculates the X position, the position of our index finger. So basically by default it is in center position. So as we already know that zone threshold value is 0.3 as per our initialization. If the X position is less than threshold which is 0.3, so basically it lies in 0 to 30% of the screen, and we are initializing one more variable called current zone variable which is left. And or if the X position is greater than 1 minus 0.3 which is 0.7, then it falls in the 70 to 100% of the screen where it belongs to right zone. So the current zone is initialized as right zone, or else finally it will be initialized by default, it will be initialized as center zone. So in this logic, in this if condition, it compares two zones, which is previous zone which is center and the current zone according to our above logic. So if the previous zone is center and the current zone is right, it presses the key right and it swipes the slide to the next. And if our present previous zone is center and the current zone is left, it press the key to the left, which is the previous slide. So we once we are done with swipe logic, then we are going to write the exit logic. So this is the exit logic. So if you see, if the finger count is 0, which is we are closing the fingers, right? So once the all fingers are closed, it presses the escape button. Once the escape button is pressed, it is going to exit the slideshow. Likewise, we are going to write the voice command logic also. So in voice command, so if we just say the gesture mode, the mode will turn into the gesture. If we just say the manual mode, it will turn into the manual mode. And if we say the voice mode, it will turn into the voice accordingly. So once voice mode is initialized, the voice mode logic is if we say next, then it presses the right key to change the slide, next slide. And if we change back, it will presses the left key to change it into the previous slide. And if we just say exit slideshow, it is going to exit the slideshow. So this is the whole logic. I hope you understand the logic. So let's have some fun. Let's now run the program using simple Python command. It's just py and the file name. And if I press enter, program will run. And if you see, our OpenCV has detected the image. Right now it is showing as manual. You can see the output in the terminal. So let's change the mode using our voice command. Voice mode. It got switched to voice mode. You can see in the terminal, and you can see the mode that has been displayed in the screen also. So if I say next slide, it is switching to next slide by pressing the arrow key. Back slide. So it is changing it to the previous slide. Next slide. Back slide. Exit slideshow. Now it got exit the slideshow. Now we are going to change to gesture mode. You can see it has changed it into gesture mode. So it should detect our hand gestures with using Mediapipe library. If I swipe right, it is going to next slide. You can see the output in the terminal. Right, next slide. Right, next slide. Right, next slide. Swiping left, previous slide. Swiping left, previous slide. Swiping left, previous slide. I'm just closing the fist to exit slideshow. Now switching back to manual mode. Manual mode. Right now, it, it will detect our hand gesture, but it won't perform any actions. Why? Because we are in manual mode. Now let's see the real example by running the slideshow. So now I am in gesture mode. So I tried my level best to capture both my hand gesture and the slideshow simultaneously. So let's get started. So as I am in gesture mode now, so the slide should changes according to my gesture. Next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide, previous slide, previous slide, previous slide, exiting the slideshow. Now we will try controlling the slideshow using voice command. Voice mode. Next slide. Next slide. Back slide. Exit slideshow. So it worked perfectly. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this video is very much useful to your presentations. So if you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe. And finally, thanks for watching guys.